back to the channel. On today's video I decided I'm going to have a go at a turtle. So I've got another chunk of white oak. So I'm thinking this end, the head sticking out a bit further than the shell, so that's going to be quite high. The middle of the highest point is going to be the middle of its shell at the back, on its back, and its head's going to be quite high, and then this end, the lower end of the back of the shell. So it's going to like start off by trimming over the sides, because its feet are sort of under its shell as well. If it's not wandering around, its feet are quite in as well, and like a weird little shape, like up an upside down U, almost like an N, but like back to, I don't know, it's all twisted up anyway. But so that's what I'm going to go for when it's like in that sort of position, and go just round over these sides, keeping the head, and then cutting so the head's sticking out a bit further than the body. Leave a bit of that there, and then do 4 legs, and then it's all about the detail in the scales, or whatever you'd call them, like the hexagons, heptagons, 5-sided, 6-sided shapes on its back. So yeah, see you in a minute. So first job is flatten the base with the Makita DUC 405. It's got a nice long bar on there, and then I've got the MSA 160C electric chainsaw, and I'm just separating that's the head and the neck cut, and then the side of the shell, and just taking the bark off the front of the legs, and just putting a definition on the front leg, taking the bark off the back, definition for the front of the back leg, and then the back of the back leg, and then just repeat the same on this side. So defining the front leg, rounding over the front leg, defining the back of the front leg, and then same there, round over the back leg, define the front of the back leg, define the back of the back leg. So now it's starting to take shape. We're starting to get a nice shell shape, and nice separation between the head and the shell, and the front legs and the head. And I need to try and remember to make sure I'm leaving enough space between these gaps, so like between the leg and the head. You got to sand in there, so I've got to keep reminding myself, leave a wide enough gap to get a sander down there. And then yeah, just keep rounding over the shell, taking bits away of the shell, of the bark, until I'm down to the nice white oak. And just take your time whittling it away. Definitely drawing them out and having a little plan before you go for it is so much better. With the ADHD, I've just been like going for it. You know, oh yeah, I've watched a video, I've watched Ryan Cook do this, or I've watched Kyle Hall do this, or I've watched Geordie Johnson do this, and just go for it because I've watched their video 3 times. But if you draw it out yourself and watch their videos, or watch my video, or whatever, keep watching it over again, and then but once you've drawn it out, it's different then, isn't it? You've actually visualized in your mind and got it out of your mind onto a piece of paper, and then you can just do the same, but with your chainsaw, then with a piece of wood. If that makes sense. Instead of trying to learn how to do it and figure it out for the first time with a chainsaw in your hand, do it with pencil and paper in your hand. So yeah, I've just got the MS 170 with the carving bar there, just to get in the gaps down the side of the arms and around the head. And then I'm just sanding it all over, so that getting it ready to burn, so that when I do burn it, it burns evenly. If it's, say you've got one bit rough, one bit sanded, one bit only sanded a little bit, it's going to look different when you burn it. I'm just quickly tidying up the underside of the tortoise, and I left the legs quite joined to the shell, just for like strength and to stop it cracking, and sort of got the shape still indented to the shape of their front legs, especially because they're like bent, twisted up back on themselves and weird. So I've got the shape of that going, but left them quite attached for strength and to stop it cracking. So I've just got it all sanded nice and evenly, and then off camera I was on TikTok live, I burnt it, tried to burn it consistently and evenly, and then I've just got the small metal cutter bit on there. It's like a little ball, tiny little, it's like about the size of like a little metal ball bearing or something like that, a little bit smaller. So I've got the small one of them on there. I've already drawn on my line, so I did a centre line down the from the middle of his, from the back of his head to the back of his tail, and then drew the 6-sided hexagons on there. And then I'll go over them with the small cutter first over all my lines, and then once I've done all that, I won't go back over them with the bigger ball that comes in the set. And it just it felt like it took forever to do all this, but obviously I'm still a beginner, I'm a novice, so all these things that I'm doing are like the first time I've done them and that, so I've never made a tortoise before. I've not had to think about how I'm going to do these lines and how I want them to turn out. So it took me a long time. It took me about an hour and a half to do the first leg, but that's the thing with art, innit? You don't know how to do stuff until you've had a go at doing it, and then you find a faster way to do it. I've probably done it the long way, but it's turned out good and turned out how I want it, and I couldn't be any happier with how it's turned out, really. But yeah, it's probably about 6 hours, 7 hours work on this bad boy. So I did quite a bit off camera. When I first do something, sometimes it takes me a long time to do things, and I did a bit of quite a lot of it on TikTok live and stuff like that. But all I did really off camera was, so I've done this on camera. I went through with the small cutter. I think it's like tri-blade cutter or dual blade cutter or something off Amazon anyway. You'll see them. Metal cutters or whatever they're called. So I just go with the small one on the lines that I drew on, and then a bigger one, and then just change the pressure to make it like sanded and that, and it's smoother, and then I just hit it with that, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. So all the nose was poke with that, and then dab with that on the outside just to open it up. And then same with the eye, small one, then big one, then painted a bit of black on there. And I opened that space up a little bit more. I keep forgetting, like with ADHD it's called your working memory, you forget what you've done. Like say if I just made this and I make the same mistake again, if that makes sense. We should like forget the lesson we learned on the last thing we did, and then we need to learn. We need to remember for the next thing we do. So I keep forgetting to make sure I've got enough room for my file sander to fit into spaces, so I can sand it all easier. So that's another thing that I did off camera, was open that up so I could get the file sander in here and sand it a bit easier. Yeah, so then just sand it all the same smoothness before you burn, so then it burns equally, and then the grain just like is burnt equal and stands out equally, and then yeah, there we go. And the legs, they were long because I just used I've only got a Dremel 3000. I don't know if it make a difference if I had a more powerful one, but it took me about an hour a leg, so it just depends on how much detail you want to do on there. There's probably a quicker way, but that's the way I did it, and it took ages. But yeah, I hope you like it. Timmy the tortoise. I know I said turtle at the start of the video, but this is a tortoise, not a turtle. And another thing I've been doing as well, just finishing this book off on TikTok. So this is the wood that I'm using for these. This is the white oak. It's proper nice wood. Solid book. So I might do a video on making a book or doing like a snake next. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, I appreciate it. And thanks for everyone who has subscribed. Well over 200 subscribers now, so I really appreciate your support and all your nice comments and that. Really encouraging and appreciate it. So yeah, Timmy the Tortoise, make him a little snake friend soon. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.